and happy Tuesday. Today we're going to do a little bit of quadratics review. You are having a test on Friday. We're not going to learn any more new material before that. So today we're going to do the quadratics review, and then tomorrow you will have a delta math, and Thursday I will give you a review sheet, and then Friday you will have your test. So starting with number 1, the equation y equals negative x squared minus 2x plus 8 is graphed on the set of axes below. Based on this graph, what are the roots of the equation? So roots, another word for roots is x-intercepts. So I really want us to get comfortable with the quadratic vocabulary because we haven't really used it before. So when I'm looking at my graph here, here's my x-axis. X-intercepts are similar to y-intercepts in that it's just right where the graph crosses the x-axis. So I'm going to count on my x-axis, and this value here is 2, and this value here is a negative 4. So my answer for that one is going to be B. So that was question 1. And then question 2, what is the turning point of the parabola whose equation is 2x squared plus 4x minus 3? So basically what you're going to do for this is you're going to go to your calculator, type in your equation, and you're going to look at your table, and you're going to look for where that turning point is. So I'm looking on my graph for my turning point. I know it's going to be negative 1, 5. When you're looking inside your table, you want to look for where that pattern starts. So everything is going to be centered around negative 1, negative 5 for this. And when I look at my graph, I see my turning point is at negative 1, negative 5. So that's my answer for number 2. Which point is on the graph of the parabola whose equation is 2x squared minus 3x plus 4? So when I'm looking at my answer choices for that, I have 0, 3, which is not on my table. I have 3, 0, which is not on my table. I have 4, 0, which is not on my table. And then I have 0, 4, which is on my table. So my answer for that one is going to be D. For number 4, which graph represents the equation x squared minus 3? So this has a positive number in front of the x squared, so I know it's going to be a smiley face, my graph, opening up. So I'm going to get rid of choice A and B. And then choice D is a sideways parabola, which we're not going to talk about this year. You're only talking about smiley faces and frowny faces. So I'm left with only choice C. Your other option was you could have plugged it in the calculator and looked at what the graph looked like. For number 5, what are the coordinates of the turning point of the parabola x squared minus 2x minus 4? I'm going to do this one the same way. X squared minus 2x minus 4. And I'm going to use my graph. If you want, you can use your table. And I see on my table, everything is centered around 1, negative 5. My negative 4s match up, my negative 1s match up, and my positive 4s match up. So that 1, negative 5 is going to be my turning point. Which equation represents the parabola shown in the accompanying graph? So this is a frowning face. So I know I need a negative coefficient in front. So I'm going to get rid of choice A. And then if I look at my shifting, I shifted 3 units to the left and 1 unit up. So I know I'm going to be adding 1 to go up 1. And then remember, it's reverse signs when I'm changing the x coordinate. So I'm going to the left 3 units, so I'm going to be adding 3 to the x. So that's why my answer is choice C. Number 7, the accompanying diagram shows a parabola. Which statement is not true? The equation of the axis of symmetry is x equals -2. Let's look for the axis of symmetry. That's going to be, remember, right through the vertex, a vertical line. And it's always an x equals equation, so that's good. And then this is right on -2, so that one is true. Remember, I'm looking for the one that's not true. The parabola has a minimum point. That's true. I have that minimum right here. Parabola has a turning point of -2, 1. Here's my turning point. Remember, that's my vertex, and the coordinates of that point are -2, 1. So that one is also true. And the parabola has 2 x-intercepts. This is your one that's false, because this parabola is never crossing the x-axis. Here's my x-axis, and I've never crossed it, so I don't have any x-intercepts on that. Number 8, I have a parabola here. Based on the graph, what are the roots of the equation? So the roots are another word for the x-intercepts. So I'm going to circle them on my graph. So one is definitely going to be -6. So that narrows down here to choice C. And my other one is 3 because it's right in between 2 and 4. Number 9, what is the y-intercept of the graph of the equation? 2x squared minus 5x plus 7. I'm going to go to my calculator. 2x squared minus 5x plus 7. A couple ways I can do this. I can look at my graph and see where it crosses the y-axis, which is 0, 7, so my y-intercept would be 7. The other thing I can do is I can go to my table, and inside my table, whenever x is 0, that y value is your y-intercept. So my y-intercept is 7. What is the equation of the parabola graphed on the accompanying diagram? Again, I'm opening down, so that's a sad face. So I know I need a negative number in front of the x squared. So I can get rid of a and b because they don't have that negative. And then I shifted up 4 units. So that means I need to have that plus 4 at the end. So my answer is going to be choice C, because this one means I'm moving down 4. And in my picture, I'm going up 4. Number 11 is asking me for the roots. So again, that's my x-intercepts. So that one's -1. And this one is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be choice C. -1 and 4. What are the coordinates of the vertex and the equation of the axis of symmetry? So you can start either way here. My vertex right here, that's going to be -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to get rid of choice A and choice B. And remember, my axis of symmetry, that's always going to be an x equals equation. going through the vertex. So that's going to be this line here. That divides my graph in half. And I'm always going to steal the x-coordinate from the vertex. So my equation is going to be x equals -2. What are the coordinates of the minimum of x squared plus 2? So I'm going to go to my calculator, x squared plus 2. And again, you can do this using your table or the graph. On my graph I see it's 0, 2. Or you can look at your table, you see that 0, 2 is the turning point. Remember, the turning point is always going to be either the minimum or the maximum. You can only have one of them for a parabola, minimum or maximum. So notice everything is mirrored around the 2. The 3's match up and the 6's match up. So that makes 0, 2 my turning point. So I'd like you guys to finish up the last 9 questions of this for homework tonight.